Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and I'm back at the beginning of Force 10 from Stoneheim, Force 10 for Stoneheim, to show you the alternate route.
You fools! Where do you think you're going?
We're going to the shrine to pray for help.
Then you waste your time. The gods aren't listening.
Now, I'm experiencing a little bit of lag. I wonder if this will make it through into the recording. Now, what we do... To go through the level the first time, we just went straight north like this. Instead, we're going to turn a little bit... That's not north, that is east. We went straight east. We're going to turn a little bit south here and go this way. This route involves quite a bit more walking back and forth than the other route did. I'm concerned about this level of lag. Well, if it comes through, I can always do this again. And now, this I think is the statue of their god. Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I think these people worship Bane. Now, I promise not to make this video entirely filled with Dark Knight Rises references, despite the fact that I just watched the movie with my brother for the first time this evening. But I'm not going to let this Let's Play be overrun by references to a movie. I'm going to take it back and give it to you, the viewer. Okay, I promise that's the only one I'm going to do. Anyway, yeah, my non-Berserk units are kind of falling behind. Fortunately, the Berserks have at least some work to do, which is this large group of goals. Gotta flank them a little bit.
Let's go. I'm moving.
Okay, you guys wait a moment while the other guys get into position.
Over here.
Alright.
I've got him. We'll do it.
And then the other units can just advance while the Berserks hunt down the goals. Yeah, the goals really have no chance here. Alright. And keep moving. And yep, they gather around in a circle around their statue of Bane, and then they get attacked this time by Thrall and Soulless, which we would have killed on the other route. So we killed the ghouls that killed them last time, and instead it's the Thrall and Soulless that kill them, so no matter what we do, I guess they're gonna die. So they die right at their shrine while they're praying for help, so I guess their gods decided to give them hope just so they could take it away. Okay, that's the last reference. I promise this time. Of course, this is also like my fourth recording attempt. This is the third recording attempt on this level. That is just taking this route. The first time, one of them was definitely not my fault. One of them was I recorded it, and the footage was awesome, and then I recorded it, the footage was awesome, and then I forgot to hit the record button. The second time, I recorded it. I did remember to hit the record button, and I got some really great footage. You're just gonna have to it was awesome. Like, it was the best level I've ever done, and you're just gonna have to take my word for it, because it just recorded a blank screen. It recorded the audio fine, but it didn't record the screen at all. So, well, I finally have my recording problems sorted out, except for there's some lag going on here. I'm not concealing a recording issue. Not at all. I definitely didn't just go check to make sure I was actually still recording. Oh, one dwarf has apparently been left behind. Yeah, there's just a tad more walking in this route. I would generally, playing on most difficulty levels, recommend taking the other route, because it's faster paced, but On the higher difficulty levels, particularly Legendary, I do actually recommend this route. So, just because it gets you into a better, more defensible position when you're taking on the last group of enemies. So that's really my prognosis, is if you're playing on normal or below, definitely take the other route. If you're playing on heroic or especially legendary, you really want to take this route. And speaking of which, I may actually someday do a let's play of this game on legendary. I mean, I probably need to get a bit better at it, because despite how long I've been playing this game, I still can't reliably win some of the later levels on legendary. And it would definitely be a bit less pretty, but I may do that. I suppose it depends on how the fan reaction to this Let's Play is and what people say in the comments.
Yeah.
Now for another group of enemies.
Let's go.
It's going to take a little while for my forces to catch up and get ready for the fight. Well, let's keep advancing. Now let's see how well the Berserks handle this.
I'm moving. Let's go. I'm moving.
Alright.
I'm moving, shell.
There. And yeah, the Berserks can take these Thrall out fine. They'll take a little bit of damage, but that won't be a huge issue. Getting the Berserks some experience would be good, because we're going to be using them for a long time.
Yeah. Ready.
Now we need archers, but I need 8 archers, not
Yes?
6 archers. Well, I'll have to get the others later. Alright.
Yes? Right away.
Let's go.
The Berserks are a bit damaged.
Ready.
Okay, now we have 2 groups of 4. See if I can get all 8. Alright. I am going for another no casualties run. And thankfully, I have a lot of practice from all my failed recording attempts.
Yeah. Sir?
Okay, let the last couple guys meander into position. See previous comments about movement speeds being perfectly appropriate in combat, but not so appropriate for moving between areas. I may as well finish him off. Getting everybody to fire in one single volley tends to take out the soulless they're aiming at. And there we have more Thrall. So in that case, let's grab 2 dwarves and send them with the archers to take out the Thrall.
Ready.
I didn't forget those Thrall were there, not in the slightest. Alright, get everybody in. As you can see, we're starting to get close to where the World Knot was.
Yes? Stand clear. Hey, ooh. Got him. Step aside. Stand
All right.
clear. Step aside. Money. Ready. Hey, step aside.
Alright.
Money.
One more.
That was mine.
Guess the enemy have finally decided that it's time to stand and fight.
Make up your mind.
Alright. That one archer is going to get everybody killed. Usually it's the dwarves that do that, and they don't appreciate someone else muscling in on their territory of ruining things for everyone on their side. Alright. Okay. Now let's set up our lovely ambush here. I'm actually going to set up an ambush on this side of the river. So we move all the ranged units back. Along with most of the berserks.
Okay.
And get things into position. Oh no, a single goal! How will we manage? Okay, it's at least a couple of goals. I'm still just going to let the berserk take them out, because they're not really a threat to him. At least they probably aren't.
He's mine.
That was mine.
Whoa!
Oh yeah.
Nice job, guys. Yeah. I'm setting up this lovely kind of half-circle formation with my dwarves.
Yes.
Got my archers in position. Fortunately, this slope will make the dwarf grenades less likely to rebound back into my own forces, and now I'm going to go trigger the enemy rush from way over here. I'll have the rest of my berserks get ready back here to rush in case any enemy melee units get too close. And the berserks are already getting a pretty respectable amount of experience. The least experienced guy is actually this one. And come on. My inner RPG gamer really likes trying to get as many kills and battles survived as I can for each of my guys. Okay. And this part works pretty much the same as before.
Let's go.
Okay. And run.
Yeah, let's go.
I love how they actually have little bits of ice on this world knot, which they didn't have on the other world knot in Homecoming. Kind of a nice touch. Just a nice little bit of detail. Now, a whole bunch of enemies, including the ones that emerged from the world knot, will come towards us. And the plan is quite simple. We lead them all into this ambush. In fact, I'm going to deliberately encourage the enemies to clump a little bit by having the berserk stay here. To try and draw the enemies towards him and get them to gather. Those two soul... Because the issue is that the soulless aren't bound by the pass. They can float over the river. The thrall can't. They could sink under it, but they couldn't... They could sink under it, but because it's ice, they can't walk on it the same way that we can't. Of course, they couldn't really sink under it because it's not deep enough.
Hey, step aside.
Okay.
Stand clear. Hey, move it.
Also, if you have dwarves aim slightly in front of their target, the blast radius of their attack will allow you to actually hit the enemy. Some of the time. It's not very reliable, but if the enemy's out of range, it's either that or nothing. And I'm going to pull this berserk nice and far back because I really don't want him to die.
What now?
Alright.
Got him. Yes. Got him. Yes.
Okay, archers just focus on the souls. The rest don't matter.
Ready.
And, yep, that grenade right there. That is why we don't normally deploy dwarves in large groups. And why I wanted to keep them reasonably far away from each other. But we have just kind of set up this nice large kill zone. This big, beautiful kill zone. Alright. Keep unloading. And that's about the size of it. That is how we do that. Let's go take out the world knot. Now for the relatively slow trudge back to the world knot to blow it. But, yep, that's how you do that. They give you this lovely, lovely ambush point to take out the majority of the enemies in the level. And bring some berserks over there just in case. Suppose I may as well bring some archers as backup. Leaving that one berserk way back so nothing happens to him. Alright. As that local sports team, they sure are a sports team, I guess. Alright. Just continue our trudge.
Let's go! Let's go! Yeah, I'm moving.
I do really like the ambient sounds. It's kind of a weird thing to be talking about, but I do actually like the ambient sounds of like birds chirping and stuff like, and the wind and stuff like that that they put into these games. Just a nice little extra detail.
Yes, sir.
And I generally just really like how detailed this game is. Also, these guys who apparently either are blind or are on a coffee break or something, because they're not going to bother us no matter how close we get to the knot. I could kill them, but I don't feel like it this time. The whole point of this route is avoiding a lot of the more difficult fighting. So, I'm just going to walk these two dwarves up, and nothing. We're just inspecting the knot to make sure that it works properly, and these things we're laying down are actually just pillows for newly arrived reinforcements to rest on before they start their battle. And you guys can rest on them too, because I'm sure you're very tired from guarding the world knot that we are definitely not about to blow up.
Yes.
Definitely not about to blow it up. And that's that.
Hooray.
That, as they say, is that.
Hooray. Hooray. Hey, we did it. Hooray.
That is the end of that level. No casualties, I love the exclamation mark. Took a fair amount of damage. The archers did quite a bit. They actually inflicted the majority of the damage, and they didn't have the majority of the kills. The dwarves had the majority of the kills. And well, my heroes are my two best heroes are archers, and then I have two dwarves. I don't think anybody else. There is actually space for a fifth guy here, I think, but I might be wrong. There might only be a maximum of 4. But there's enough, but I think nobody else has enough kills or battles survived to get that. So anyway, that is the alternate route through Force 10 from Stoneheim. As usual, I really recommend, as I said before, I really recommend doing this for higher difficulty levels, like Heroic or especially Legendary, and the main route is better for a more normal difficulty, like, well, normal. Anyway, with that, I am going to proceed to the next level this time, and that'll be next week. So, as usual, this is Science Viking signing off. I love you all, and I will see you next time.